Welcome back to another build video. Today we have the teaser, or a Raijus Harness build on Hunter. Now, why Raijus Harness? This exotic has been out forever. Well, this season it received rework that I don't think has been given enough credit by the community, kind of been overlooked, and it probably has to do with it's kind of basic. It's not like the craziest rework that has ever graced an exotic. So what was reworked? The main perk, Mobius Conduit. Press your super button to deactivate arc staff early to create a blinding explosion and gain a temporary boost to arc weapon damage. Arc staff consumes energy more slowly when not attacking. In this build, it is all about gaining that damage boost. Now, why is this damage boost important? Because this damage boost is one of the highest damage boosts in the game. It's higher than any surge mods can give you, and it's essentially for free for your arc weapons. It is a 25% damage boost. As you see on the chart, it is one of the highest damage boosts in the game. Why am I even looking at this? The reason why I'm looking at this is because it's so easy to use for boss damage phases. The ease of use is insane. Now, maybe it's not as easy to use as Star Eater Scales, but Star Eater Scales is boring. Plus, this offers utility to not only be used for boss damage, but for other parts of encounters or GMs or anything, because all you got to do to get this damage boost is activate your super and deactivate it, and you get a free 25% weapon boost. And the thing about Star Eater Scales is there's not really a lot of mid game with it. All it does is give you bonus damage to your super. There's no mid game to it. It's just all in and done. Unlike this, where it has the utility that you could use your super or you could not use your super and gain weapon damage. And plus you have a super that is very defensive in the sense that if you get rushed by something or something catches you off guard, you can pop it and block and get away from things, or pop it and deactivate it and it will blind enemies so you get rushed by an unstoppable champion, and it will stun unstoppable champions. And unlike Star Eater Scales, they don't have that versatility because most of the time you use Star Eater Scales with one and done supers, so there's no safety net there. So what is important to this build? The important parts of this build is Raijus Harness, obviously, Arc Strider, and on Arc Strider we want to use Arc Staff. Form a staff of our energy and acrobatically take out your foes. Hold whatever your sword guard button is to deflect incoming projectiles with your arc staff. Now, most of the time we won't be actually using the super because the point is to gain the weapon damage boost, but the possibility is there. And really nothing else really matters within your subclass. Yeah, you could set up like some mid-game stuff, but by this point in the season, I'm sure you've seen 100 build videos talking about how strong Arc Hunter is at the moment with combination blow and gambler's dodge. So no need to beat a dead horse. But as you see in the background gameplay, this is a really strong build. It's so easy to use, so easy to take advantage of, and not a lot of setup. And realistically, you can kind of go any way you want with whatever exotics and weapons you want to use. I think when I initially started using this, I was using Queensbreaker. Hey, don't sleep on Queensbreaker. It's actually pretty good because Queensbreaker actually stuns unstoppable champions now. It doesn't say it directly, but it can. And even for boss damages, with this build, I was most of the time keeping up with or out damaging those that were wearing Star Eater Scales. And I think generally you will find this because any damage phase that lasts longer than 20 seconds, as long as you have your damage rotation on point and you have enough ammo, you will beat Star Eater Scales in damage. Because this Raijus Harness bonus, it not only is 25% weapon damage bonus, it is for 20 seconds. And by the time you are done with the 20 seconds, you will most of the time have done enough damage where you could just reactivate it and deactivate your super. Wow, you get another 20 seconds of free damage boost. So realistically, there's kind of no downtime with this build. As long as you're dealing damage, you should be able to just constantly have upkeep. And overall, again, preface this with you will need to have ammo, but for those longer damage phases, because of this point, that by the time you're finished with your first damage boost, you will have your super again to reactivate and deactivate to get the boost again. That the longer the damage phase is, the more value you will get out of Raijus Harness compared to Star Eater Scales, because unless your team is generating a butt ton of orbs, you're not going to be getting a ×4 Star Eater Scales super in the time that you will regen your super from this. Because when you deactivate it, you still have 75% of your super. That's if you deactivate it immediately. And this super almost takes no time at all to activate and deactivate. It's a pretty quick animation. So as you see in the background gameplay, it's pretty effective. I like this build. just for the raw damage. It's just, you know, monkey brain see big numbers, go ooh, nothing complicated. Very easy to just put on and use and get easy bonuses. And if you like this build, go ahead and try it out. Like I said, it's pretty open-ended. The only requirements is arc staff and Raijus Harness and arc weapons. But other than that, it's really your choice on what you want to use. Before anyone says anything, yes, Mask of Bacchus gives the same damage boost as Raijus Harness. So why not use that? First off, you gotta use Stasis. And I will say Stasis is kind of in an underwhelming state at the moment, whether that be to not having artifact mods for a while, or that Strand is just a better Stasis, and the fact that while your damage boost is active for Mask of Bacchus, your dodge is not recharging. So to even reactivate the ×4 damage boost for Mask of Bacchus, you have to wait the 10 seconds, and then whatever your dodge cooldown is, so somewhere around give or take 30 seconds to just reactivate the damage boost. Unlike Raijus Harness, where we're kind of chaining together, right? You activate it, you get a 20-second damage boost. By the time the 20-second damage boost is over, you already have your super again to reactivate the damage boost, and you're on a way stronger subclass than Stasis. And it's truly sad. Stasis is kind of in a weird state. I think it needs to be a little bit updated. I think it's fallen behind the other subclasses. If you don't think so, that's fine. I just don't see too many people running it. I even tried running Stasis Titan for the GN this week, and just to let you know, I got kicked from that group. But point being is I just feel it's a little underwhelming for Hunter and Titan. Warlock can get away with it more because it has more utility than Titan or Hunter, but Mask of Bacchus is definitely not as strong as what this is. Sure, you have to sacrifice your super for this, but how often are you running around really with roaming supers in PvE? Not often. Most of the time our abilities can do everything our supers do and better, and at a safer point. So that's all I have to say on Mask of Bacchus. So overall, this build is, I think, great. I love using it. It's just simple to use, something I can throw on, get a lot of value for, not have to think about, and still be providing some sort of benefit to myself, especially without having to go and pick up orbs or even worry about picking up orbs. But as you can see, you can watch the rest of the background gameplay. It shows me using this build in, I think it's Defiant Battleground, which I think is a pretty good baseline test for it. But if you like this content, make sure to like and subscribe, and I thank you for hanging out, and I will see you all later.
What does the Witness want? The Red Legion wanted the Traveler's power. House Salvation just wanted to destroy the traitor machine. But the Witness opened a portal, and we have no idea what it's doing.
We'll need to find a way through first. But there's been no joy as of yet. You Guardians always find a way to do the impossible. I have no doubt you'll find it again.